Hi folks, this is Young Turquoise B and this is my first video. So for those who don't know, I am Kalmyk and Siberian. I was born and raised in New Jersey in the largest Kalmyk community there is in the United States. In the US, there's about 3,000 Kalmyks living here, the majority of which live in New Jersey, Philadelphia, and New York City. And I've always really wanted to do a video about Kalmyk history because I just think it's fascinating as someone who's interested in history and psychology and the connection between the two and how that affects people to this day. So a lot of the information I'm going to provide is from a Kalmyk historian, and her name is Elzbieta Guchanova. She is an amazing role model for me, especially because of the works that she's done on Stalin's deportation of the Kalmyks to Siberia. So I just want to share some background with you. Kalmyks are ethnically Mongolian. We are from the Oirat group of Western Mongolia. We're a nomadic group that left Mongolia centuries ago, and we established a republic in Russia called Kalmykia. The area that Kalmyks are traditionally from is called Jungaria, and in the present day, this is known as the northern half of Xinjiang, near the Altai mountain range. So going back to Stalin's deportation of the Kalmyks to Siberia, this is a very important moment in time because this dramatically affected not only Kalmykia's economic state, making it one of the poorest and most underdeveloped regions in Europe, but it's also caused a lot of generational trauma for Kalmyks everywhere, especially those living in Russia. So when I was in Kalmykia, I had the chance to interview the niece of Geshe Wangel. And for those who don't know, Geshe Wangel is a very important figure in Kalmyk history. He was pivotal in bringing His Holiness the Dalai Lama and also Buddhism to the West. He was the teacher of many now famous Tibetologists, including Robert Thurman and Jeffrey Hopkins. I spoke with Geshe Wangel's niece, along with other survivors, in a documentary project that I did after college. So during the time of Stalin's deportation, there were 14 ethnic groups who were sent to Siberia. They were transported in cattle cars with little to no notice, so they weren't able to pack their belongings or enough food. They were put into forced labor camps, and many people died of hypothermia and starvation. It's estimated that nearly 120,000 Kalmyks were deported on December 28, 1943, and in ethnically mixed families, non-Kalmyk partners were offered the chance to divorce their spouses to avoid sharing the same fate as the Kalmyks. Those who declined were regarded as Kalmyks and were expelled. There were almost no Kalmyk children born between the years of 1945 and 1950. In 1948, 3,193 Kalmyk babies were born, but 2,766 of them died. Kalmyks arriving in Siberia were also accompanied with rumors that they were cannibals, so the local people would attack them and they would be burned alive. Nowadays, some people believe that certain ethnic groups had to stay in Siberia because the local administration needed them as efficient workers, while Chechens, Ingush, and Kalmyks were allowed to leave since they were considered barbarians and they were expected to cause more trouble than good. There was also a very high-ranking Kalmyk general who advocated for the Kalmyks to return to Kalmykia. Kalmyks to me are a very special group of people, and I say this as someone who is Kalmyk and has lived amongst Kalmyks my whole life. We are a very resilient group of people. We are a very tribal-based group of people who love hard and protect each other at all costs. Kalmyks have had to work very hard historically in this world to survive, and I think because of this, communication can be difficult. Conversations around mental illness and trauma can be difficult, as it can also be with other groups of people. And it's been my experience that Kalmyks place a very high significance on the importance of memory and establishing trust and relationships with the families of people who have helped them out in life to survive. There are many groups of people that I'm friends with to this day because our great-grandparents helped each other out in times of need. we remember these things in our families, and I know that this is the case for many other Kalmyk families. I hope you enjoyed this video that I did today. I tried to make it a 5-minute short video. I want to see if there's any interest in this. If there is, I'm going to do a poll to decide the topic of my next video. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. This is Young Turquoise B, and I hope to see you soon.